I'd like to welcome you to the John Rylands Library here on Deansgate, right in the centre of Manchester. One of the world's greatest collections of rare books, manuscripts, archives, and contemporary special collections. Amongst those wonderful items here in Deansgate are one of the world's great collections of Egyptian and ancient papyri.
One of the most exciting things about this exhibition is that most of these documents are an accident of history. They were found in ancient rubbish heaps, in ancient garbage piles. They weren't meant to be preserved. And what they reveal is the everyday lives of ordinary people, many of whom you will be able to encounter in this exhibition. So we have tax receipts, we have petitions for freedom, we have medicinal recipes, magical amulets. These objects reflect the daily lives of regular Egyptians primarily. And what's absolutely so extraordinary about this is when you see these documents, you're actually looking at someone's handwriting. And just knowing that they're written by someone perhaps 2,000 years ago, you're encountering the presence of someone from so long ago. And when you see that handwriting, yeah, you're actually not that far away from recognizing someone's personality. And I think this is what's extraordinary about this exhibition in particular, is that you're bumping into real people that existed 2,000 years ago.
Papyri give us a window into the lives of students, teachers, and professional scribes. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's a student exercise containing verses from Homer's Odyssey. What brings this piece to life is the mistake it contains. One of the verses is actually not part of the Odyssey, and this will tell us a great deal how this exercise was constructed. So the student was not copying from a book or a model, but it was writing down by memory.
Astronomy and astrology were the same discipline in antiquity. Papyrus Rylands 27 is what we call a procedure text, which is a text that was used to create tables to calculate the positions of different celestial bodies. In the case of Rylands 27, this was used to calculate the positions of the moon, which is a celestial body that is very difficult to calculate. In order to indicate this, there is a little moon that is drawn on top of the text. On the other side, it has passages from the Iliad, and that probably indicates that this papyrus was used in the context of a school to teach high-level students both language with the Iliad and astronomy with the astronomical treatise. These papyri showcase the practice of the astral sciences in the ancient world very well. Mathematical astronomy, like in P. Rylands 27, was practiced though only for the purposes of astrology. This is to cast horoscopes.
Health concerns are absolutely universal to us and have been for as long as human history. And we've had to find different ways of dealing with that. Even when we have all of the medical advances that we do now, we still need something to provide us with reassurance and help. We have little charms that we take with us when we're receiving treatment for cancer, for anything, for just minor complaints. And that's what people did in the ancient world. This is P. Ril 4699. It is a Greco Roman amulet. It was written by an expert, usually someone who is a local practitioner. It was folded up and then worn with a string around the neck, or potentially just in a pocket. It has a mixture of text on it. This is what's so exciting. During this period, we have so many overlapping traditions. We have the Hebrew tradition, we have the Greek tradition, we have a Christian tradition coming in. People were quite happy to mix and match. We have plenty of texts that refer to Anubis, Jesus, and Moses all together in one place. People used these kind of amulets to give them that sense of grounding and help in the ancient world as well.
In our Bibles today, we have 4 Gospels. We have a Gospel according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But in Greco Roman Egypt, there were dozens of Gospels circulating. They were being read, they were being written, engaged with, and edited. And these Gospels retold stories of Jesus in new and exciting ways. I want to introduce to you a Gospel according to Mary. Here we have one of our few fragments of the Gospel according to Mary, and most scholars think that this Mary would be Mary Magdalene. And on this fragment, we meet a story about Mary Magdalene and Peter the Apostle having an argument about something that Mary has remembered that Jesus said to her. Apart from the story itself, which is preserved on the papyrus fragment, one of the most interesting things about this object is that it is our only gospel from early Christianity attributed to a woman. And it raises all sorts of questions about how women were seen in Christ communities in Greco Roman Egypt.
Between the 1st century BCE and the 3rd century CE, in a region called the Fayum in Middle Egypt, we get a very specific type of artwork that appears, which are known as the Fayum mummy portraits. And these portraits, which consist of thin wooden panels painted with Greek encaustic or tempera technique, were essentially wrapped into mummified remains to act as a burial mask of sorts. And an example of one of these is the portrait of a lady that we have. And so this portrait was actually a representation of the woman's final days. She is depicted with her hair very artfully arranged in what's known as the tower style, which is specific to the Antonine period, so between 138 and 160 CE. She also wears very fine clothing, so Tyrian purple, perhaps, a very deep purple dye, which is restricted in Rome to only the elites, and perhaps in this way she's emulating those elites. She also wears pearl drop earrings, which would be very valuable. It's unclear whether she actually owns them, but the fact that she's emulating them suggests she wished to be remembered as kind of wealthy and really wearing this finery. And she also wears expensive beads, so perhaps emeralds or agate or another precious stone. And what this tells us about these people, and this woman in particular, is that they wish to be remembered as wealthy in death. They wish to have this to be their final image. It's very enigmatic, it's very realistic compared to the artwork that we see before in Egypt. And it's very distinct, and it makes you feel like you're standing face to face with someone that you know.
Ancient papyri are among the most fragile objects in our collections. Preparing them for this exhibition was about more than making them look nice for display. It was about understanding their materials, their history, and how to preserve them for the future. For this exhibition, we worked with over 40 objects, each with their own challenges, from early biblical fragments on papyrus, such as the St. John's fragment, to a nearly complete Book of the Dead, and an early parchment bifolio of Homer's Odyssey. Conservation is a collaborative process. We work closely with curators, imaging specialists, and researchers across institutions to make informed decisions that balance access and preservation. Our approach is always one of minimal intervention. Conservation is not about restoring an object to an imagined original state, but about stabilizing it, chemically and physically, so it can be safely handled, studied, and displayed. We introduced new materials using TrueView acrylic glazing, which is anti-static, shatterproof, and low reflective. This enables papyri fragments to be safely viewed from both sides while remaining protected. For transit, we used Marvel Seal, a barrier material originally developed for aerospace applications, including by NASA. One of the most complex objects in the exhibition is a 2,300-year-old Book of the Dead. The original scroll was divided in the past, and at the Rylands we care for 10 sections, which together measure over 28 feet in length.
The Book of the Dead was an Egyptian funerary composition that was made of different spells that would allow the deceased to travel into the afterlife. It combines text and vignettes, and it could be written in hieroglyphs, in hieratic, or even in a later script called demotic. The most important scene in the Book of the Dead is the judgment of Osiris, which is depicted in this papyrus. Osiris was the god of the dead, and he would determine if the deceased could go into the afterlife. This was done by weighing his soul in a balance. The deceased who commissioned this papyrus is User, and we see him approaching this balance and the god Osiris.
When it was stored rolled in antiquity, insect damage created a repeating pattern of losses. Along the top edge, we also find a black burial residue, which appears to have been viscous when first applied and later solidified. This meant that when the scroll was originally unrolled, layers of papyri broke off and stuck together. Scientific analysis is currently underway to better understand its composition. Because the upper edge of the scroll was extremely fragile, it was stabilized with a very thin Japanese paper lining. Each section will be displayed in bespoke frames, designed to support its condition and scale. Ultimately, conservation is about enabling access. By understanding and supporting these fragile objects, we allow visitors, researchers, and students to connect with voices from thousands of years ago.
Experts at the University of Manchester work in partnership with colleagues around the world to ensure the collaborative research expertise is focused on meeting global challenges. 1 year ago, the University of Manchester and the University of Texas at Austin signed a partnership agreement committing us to support research collaboration between the two institutions. Our partnership now offers a seed fund committing us to growing those research collaborations in areas such as carbon capture, clean water, biotechnology, as well as the creative industries and the arts. Our partnership sits alongside a sister city agreement between Manchester and Austin, committing both cities to explore mutual beneficial business development. Each year, the University of Manchester welcomes students from all over Texas to study in our undergraduate and postgraduate programs, many supported by US-focused scholarships. We are proud of our alumni based in Texas, and we expect many of them to come and visit the Lives and Literacy exhibition, a joint collaboration between the University of Texas at Austin, Harry Ransom Center, and the University of Manchester John Rylands Library. This is just a start to what we hope will become a strong academic partnership supporting research and leading to real-world impact. Of course, I'm particularly excited about this collaboration. I grew up in Texas, and now, after 30 years, I call Manchester my home, and I'm very excited that this collaboration will benefit both the land I grew up in and my new home.
It's a huge privilege for us in the John Rylands Library to work with the Harry Ransom Center, a partner organisation and a peer across the world. This will be the first of a number of international exhibitions that this university library presents in the coming years, and allows us to demonstrate the university's new vision, Manchester 2035, where not only a great university will need to operate internationally, but a great university library too.